start off with the physical characteristics of the two pictures shown. I feel like the first picture looks more like a historical building, unlike the second picture. So with that being said, I also feel like the first picture is more like a Europe type building, and I feel like the second picture is more like a U.S. type building, like a federal type building in the U.S. I also feel like the first picture has more windows than the second picture. With that being said, I feel like the first picture, which is the Europe type building, is more freely. They're not as gated or protected as the U.S. Building, the second picture, with meaning that. I feel like the first picture has a darker tone. It's more like a brown/tan color. And I feel like the second picture has like more of a white/tan color. So you could definitely tell the difference in between the buildings. The first building actually has more like a castle-like building to it. So moving on to the musical characteristics now. So starting off with the Concertino by Bach from Bar-Kays era. I feel like the different instruments I heard in the piece were the flute, the solo violin, so really and some strings. I feel like it had 3 movements in the piece. It was fast, slow, fast. It showed very clear language of tonality. The use of sequences extended the length of the melodies. I also feel like, the musical form is ritornello form. The solo sections are more polyphonic and stress imitation between the flute and violin. I feel like the texture in the concertino builds up from the monophonic. So those are the two expressed in that musical piece. Moving on, the bass in the concertino, the only instrument that plays during the long final solo section. So that was really the only solo section, was the bass continuo. This was the first time it had ever been given a solo in Concertino Grosso. So also with that, moving on to the classical era. I feel like it was medium. It had two violins, a violoncello, double bass, and it had string and orchestra as well. I feel like it had a homophonic texture, and at the beginning, from all the way to 23 seconds, I feel like the form is sonata, and I feel like the function of it performed at outdoor function. So I feel like it probably can be played inside, but the function was played out